Hey everybody, I'm Bob Bakert with Jazz Guitar today, and before we introduce you to our special guest today, I'd like to invite you to please subscribe to our magazine. It's free. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Like, share, follow, send money. No, I mean, just kidding about that. But please help us grow this community that we've been working on we're in our 5th year now. So we've never really done a whole lot of asking for people to share, and now we're asking for that. Help us grow this thing. It's good for everybody. The Ferrari that I own is about that big. Says Matchbox on it, so nobody's making a whole lot of money from this enterprise. Trust me on that one. Anyway, but here's what we got for you today. We have the great Sheryl Bailey is right here in studio with us. Thank you. Well, actually, in her studio with us. And Sheryl is, I guess, co-director. Would that be how do you put your title at Berkeley?
Okay, my title is the assistant chair of guitar at Berkeley College.
Assistant chair of guitar at Berkeley. Do they say College of Music, School of Music?
Yeah, we are Berkeley College of Music now. It used to be Berkeley School of Music, but we are College of Music.
Berkeley College of Music. So the prestigious Berkeley College of Music, which has like over 900,000 guitar students, largest in the world.
It is the largest in the world. We have close to 900 guitarists and about 56 faculty in all styles. So there's nothing like it.
So the reason I mentioned it, well, last time we got together, we talked about all your Berkeley stuff. But the reason I'm mentioning that today, because we're here today to talk about your new art project, your music.
Mm-hmm.
And that so often people who get tied up in academia, if you will, kind of forget that they also are artists and players.
Mm-hmm.
And now some do and some don't. I mean, there are some great players that are also, great teachers and involved in universities all over. You are one of those that is a prolific artist as well as an educator at the highest level. Because I happen to know, because you shared that your practice routine every day is borderline nuts. It's about 6 hours a day. Is that what you're up to now? Like 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, 2 in the evening? It's like, I mean, that's like a daily thing with you, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it's a daily thing. It's a daily practice. Yeah, I mean, our instrument is challenging. Physically challenging, mentally challenging too, like all these things we have to keep them active for.
Well, music is one of those things like history. If you're a history guy, it's all here. It's all in your head, Mm-hmm. If you're an athlete, it's mostly physical. I mean, I'm not saying you don't have to think if you're an athlete, but it's mostly physical, particularly like a runner. You either run fast or you don't. I mean, I know there's more to it than that. You got to map out but you get the idea. Right. But in music, you got to be able to do both. You got to be able to think, and you got to be able to do physically.
Yep.
And guitar has got it is the most freaking convoluted of all of them. It's just crazy because of the way it's lined up. So the reason I'm bringing all this up is because it's very difficult to find the time to do what you do at Berkeley, and also to remain fresh and vibrant as an artist. And you are that. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Yeah.
And so the real reason we're here today, we're going to talk about your new project called Homage.
Homage.
So
I have it right here. Look. It's on vinyl. It's so fun. It's on vinyl. How fun is that?
That is fun. That's a good looking cover, by the way.
Yes, it is. And yes.
Whoever did the art on that is
okay. I'll tell you. Well, there's a little tie-in with Berkeley in the title, because I actually got a grant from Berkeley, a chair recording grant. It really sparked the project. So my boss, my chair, Kim Perlak, said, "Hey, you should apply for that." And I was like, whatever. Anyway, I did, and I got the grant. And so was like, okay, let me put together this band of some folks that I've worked with in a lot of different settings who I just love. And let's do this project. So we actually recorded the beginning of 2022, and we did a gig, which it's on YouTube from Smalls. It was our warm up to go in the studios, and it's a nice gig. If you go to the, I'm sure people are hip here and subscribe to Smalls,
right?
And their YouTube thing. So anyway, that was our warm up for the recording. And so now the funny thing is, we recorded in January 2022, and this sounds like I'm making this up, but I really wanted to do vinyl because I love vinyl. If I flip my camera on, you see I have this really beautiful setup. It's, really special, I think, experience to listen to vinyl. But the company said, it'll be ready in May 2023. And the reason of that is that there are not so many places making vinyl now. And the pop singer Adele wanted to make a couple million LPs, vinyl LPs. So they were all busy cranking out Adele records before they could get to everyone else. So long story short, it's here. And this is, so my buddies. So again, I was like, okay, this is a great opportunity. I'm going to get my buddies together. So Harvey S. Now everybody, guitar player and everybody in jazz should know Harvey S. I heard him when I was a Berklee student on his recording called In a Different Light. And if you're a guitarist and you don't have that record, you need to get it, because he wanted to put together different present guitarists, his favorite guitarists in different lights. So it's Mike Stern, it's Gene Bertoncini. It's one of the Gene Bertoncini's on fire. If you want an on fire version of Embraceable You, that's it. He's whoo. And then Mick Goodrick and John Schofield. So that was like my bread and butter as a Berklee student. Like I learned every nook and cranny of that tune. Right? So
oh, well, what can you say about that?
I don't know. You should have, if you've never heard it, I mean, it'll be your next favorite thing. So I met Harvey actually playing with the great Jack Wilkins. Now, folks know that he and I had a duo for many years, and very, we just have this kind of fun kinetic energy. Anyway, so Harvey, of course, walked in because Harvey played on some of Jack's iconic jazz guitar records, which I hope everybody here knows those great records. Anyway, and I was like, oh my God, it's Harvey S. And anyway, we became friends, and we started our own little duo project called Plucky Strum. And, that was amazing the way Harvey works. He loves to, all that stuff. He's still working with Sheila Jordan. He told me that he and Sheila, when they worked on that duo project, they would get together every night and rehearse. And he said they did this for months. And their first concert, he said it was the only time it ever happened in his life. They got like 4 standing ovations. Wow. After the show. Like, he's into this, working on the details. So he also partially mixed the record. So I gave him partial producer credit on it.
Sure.
And then, so my friend Miki Hayama is an incredible piano player. She's been playing in my quartet for a while. And we ended up on some tours in Europe and Eastern Europe, and she just seemed like perfect person. I mean, she has those kind of scary Chick Corea chops, but also a sensibility too of like, Monk and Bud Powell. So she really, to me, she embodies all those things of really traditional bebop and modern playing that I love. And then the drummer is Neil Smith, who all guitar players here hopefully know his work with Russell Malone's group, and many other, amazing players. But Neil and I commuted from New York to Boston to teach at Berklee. So Neil is a professor at Berklee, and I don't know, we just would, again, another person who we just get together and we just have this kinetic joy and laughter. So that was sort of the idea. I just wanted to put all these people that I love them as players and I love them as people together to do this record.
I'm going to turn off my phone is beeping because
it's just popular.
Oh, let's not go there. I don't know what you would call it. I'm turning off the beep though, because I don't want to interrupt. You mentioned names like Jack Wilkins. And a lot of people have no idea who Jack Wilkins is.
Well, that needs to change.
Well, I'm going to give you that opportunity. Give us a 2-minute Jack Wilkins.
I mean, Jack Wilkins is the guitarist. I mean, first of all, his knowledge of the history of the guitar and his experience. Like, for instance, he's a person who can go, hey, Jimmy Rainey fingered it like this because he hung out with Jimmy Rainey, right? So his record windows to me is sort of his moment. He had a group with, Harvey is on some of those early records, and also Eddie Gomez and Jack DeJohnette. One of the most incredible solo guitarists, and just chops of doom. I mean, chops of doom. That's all I can say.
I love that.
But I met him at the National Guitar Summer Workshop, and he was a guest, and I was just, he blew me away, and I said, I need to be friends with this person, because I have so much to learn from them, just about playing the guitar, the mechanics of the guitar, the history of the guitar, and then just to play. It's like when you play with someone else, it's that chi, you get that energy going.
Well, if you're around people long enough, you sort of pick stuff up,
Yeah.
But I was going to say that back when Just Jazz Guitar magazine was being published by Ed Benson, the great Ed Benson, who we all bow down to. He's the reason this magazine exists.
That's right.
Get well, Ed. By the way, we wish you luck with everything you're doing. Ed struggles a little bit right now, so bless you, Ed. Anyway, Jack was a very, very regular contributor and someone who was featured a lot in that magazine. And of course, I devoured that magazine, when it showed up. I read everything about it and all that. So I'm familiar with Jack, and there's other guys from that era that were always involved, and they had that same thing. But Jack is definitely one of the guys that was always up here, highly respected by everybody, for all the reasons that you've already mentioned. Mm-hmm. So you got this group of players together, and tell us about the musical style. That's not supposed to happen. I'm sorry, must be somewhere else. Tell us about the style of this record. Tell us what you musically are going for.
Yeah, well, it's another. I mean, all my releases are my compositions. I love to write music. And, I come out of it. I mean, I was really, actually, not only as a guitar player, but as a composer, Pat Martino style of writing. And, I would say, man, very post-bop playing, I mean, and my people that I love as composers are Pat Martino and Chick Corea. But I also love that whole era of Wayne Shorter and Gigi Grice. And, I mean, so many great, Tad Dameron, whatever, that whole
right.
So that it's all my original music. The first cut is actually called The Velvet Hammer. It's a tribute to Pat Martino. I like to write music that sits as a jazz tune. Like I can bring it in, and it's a good vehicle for blowing, because that's what improvising is, what it's about.
Right.
I don't know if that's a good description of what.
No, it's a real good description. I mean, you're looking to give people a canvas, but not the same old canvas. You want to give them something that's got kind of a fresh feel to it. Something. Well, I haven't blown over that before. Oh, I like and oh wow, ear candy. And then musicians pick up on that, and they make things happen from the compositions. The clever.
Well, yeah. I mean, hopefully. The main thing is my music is melodic. Right. I mean, I guess if you broke down a lot of the music structurally, it might be considered, maybe there's an odd form or something. But in the way like Monk would write or Wayne Shorter would write, when you take it under the microscope, you go, oh wow, that's a strange phrase, but it it doesn't feel strange.
Right.
It doesn't, because it's about the melodic phrasing. Everything, the melody is really. So I think having a couple bands like this and also my organ trio that's worked together for over 20 years.
Right.
We all, when we play together, we're phrasing the melodies because they're so embedded in knowing the music.
Well, yeah, and I've noticed that in your playing for sure. And one of the guys that we've talked about in the past that I'm a huge fan of, and he's a huge fan of melody, is Frank Vignola.
Totally.
And and Frank loves you.
It's a mutual thing.
Yeah, and
it's a mutual admiration society.
Yeah, and Frank is Frank is one of my all-time favorite musicians.
Me too.
Somewhere, when this is all said and done and over and all that kind of thing, he's going to go down as one of the greats.
Yes,
he really will. And I believe that in Frank. I'm not just blowing smoke. You know me well enough. I don't do that. But he is, and so and he is the quintessential melody maker, if you will. I'll tribute to Gibson on that. He's the quintessential melody maker, and you're playing together with him like you guys did at Blue Note. The Blue Note.
Oh, the Birdland.
The Birdland. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Birdland. That's a incredible ear candy fest, if you will, to listen to you guys play. So I do appreciate that. So we want to kind of keep this kind of short and sweet and get the salient information out.
Okay.
So the record consists of these musicians. Tell us who's on the record again.
So it's Harvey S. on bass, Miki Hayama on keyboards, and Neil Smith on drums, and myself on guitar and composer. It's available on vinyl. It's available on digital download. And there's something really special, though, a YouTube series based around it. So it starts on May 1st. And I have some experimental videos from the session. So I'm not a... But I did some
please send those.
I hope they'll be fun.
Please send those to us before we put this out, and we'll embed them in the.
Well, I guess the thing is, it rolls out. So, for instance, on May 1st, the Velvet Hammer, the first tune, comes out, and the following week there's a behind the scenes. Okay. So it's
it's already been laid out.
Yeah, there's 8 tunes on the record, so it's gonna roll out over the summer in 16 weeks. So the song will hit, and then there's sort of a behind the scenes, like the making of, and what was the conversation, and this and that follows the following week, and then this third week is this tune Walk Up, and Walk Up's coming out as a single on Spotify and Apple Music.
Our forum is your forum. However you want to present, whatever you want to present for us, and we'll be happy to get it out on our forum. So if you want to send us some video or whatever you got, maybe a little piece of it to say, hey, this is coming, to see the whole thing. Wait. I mean, if you want to edit, let's say it's a 5-minute video, 10-minute video. If you want to send us like a minute or two as a teaser for it, we'll be happy to let people know.
Yeah, I had fun with. I mean, it's video of the session. It's actually us playing, but I don't know. I just had fun with it. Hopefully people will enjoy it and it's fun. And to learn about the making of, maybe get some insight into the process of putting something like this together.
At the end of the day, music is self-expression. and at the end of self-expression, hopefully we're having a good time and having
exactly
fun. So people forget that. They'll grab a guitar and they'll and that was cool. There's a time and a place, because that's frustration and angst and all that stuff. That needs to be expressed too, if that's what you're feeling. But if you're having fun with it, we've got to remember we all kind of got into this for a variety of reasons. Some of us want to pick up chicks and things of sort, but we all got into this because it's fun. At the end of the day, it's fun. So I think that's really, really cool.
Yeah.
Tell us about the guitar you're playing.
Oh, the guitar that I play is it's built for me by Rick McCurdy. Sorry, that is on the headstock there.
That's cool.
It's my signature model of his Mercury guitar.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, well, there is a little story of this, in that this was gifted to me by Jimmy Weibel.
Wow.
Yeah, so its name is, of course, Jimmy. And I have the very first one. I have two of them. The very first one I have is a little different construction, but anyway, it's called it is the Sheryl Bailey Mercury series.
And so, is it a 24 3/4? It's 25 and a half.
No, it's a 24. It's a Gibson scale,
Yeah.
but well, it's a small body. I'm a small person.
15? Is it a 15-inch body?
Yes.
Yeah.
And anyway, I have two solid bodies. When I play with the Not Cohen, if people see me play with the Tentet,
Yeah.
or some of those projects, I have a telly that he made, but he keeps the same neck on all of them. So when I go back and forth, I don't feel like, what am I doing? You know what I mean? So I have a telly in one that sort of looks like a Jazz Master that he made for me.
Well, that's cool. So what gauge strings do you use?
Well, I kind of do a weird split. It's a little heavier on the top, like 12, 15, 23. And then this would be what would be like on a set of 11. So I think the lowest one's a 45. To be honest, I only change my strings about once a year. So
that's probably more than I do.
Yeah, okay, all right, yeah. Because they just
my least favorite job in the whole wide world is changing strings. And
I know. Look, that's why I have all this.
Yeah, and Larry Carlton changes strings between shows.
That's
like if he's got 2 shows.
Wow.
His guitar tech will change strings between shows.
That's amazing.
And these strings have probably been on this guitar. Well, this one's probably maybe 6 months old.
Yeah.
But I just gotta hate changing strings.
I know. I know.
I love the finish of it. Do you know anything about the pickups or anything? We
don't. Yeah, they are the Seymour Duncan Jazz.
Okay. We don't normally talk gear, but lately more people have been asking me to ask about gear, so that's why I'm doing it.
Yeah, I have. He usually uses Seymour Duncans, and I agree with him. I think they're the other version of this guitar has the Alnico 2,
right,
which I think are nice. But on the telly that I have, he has some Lolar pickups, P90s.
Yeah.
And there is a very interesting guitar. I love that guitar too.
That's
totally
a great pickup.
Vibe,
I'm old friends with the Lawler people. Well, all of them. Back in another career that I had, I was very much involved with Duncan and Lawler and those guys. Now, what kind of an amp are you using? Do you use pedals, and what kind of amp are you using?
Yeah, I use pedals too. Well, usually I have a acoustic image 2R.
Yeah.
The Claris 2R. I love that. I could take it anywhere and plug into any cabinet. And the cabinet I have actually 2 of them. I keep one because I'm in Boston and New York. So I have the same rig in both cities. Right. So I have a Razor's Edge.
Oh yeah. They're one of our sponsors. We love those guys.
I love them. I've used that rig for years. I do use pedals because I do. For instance, if anyone here checks out the Not Cohen Tentet, the concerto record we did, I mean, it's a shred gig for me. So I'm still a shredder at heart. So it's true. I mean, if you don't believe it, just go check. It's on
YouTube. I've got video to prove it. I understand.
So I use I love the Strymon Flint.
Oh yeah. I've got one. I use it all. That's my.
It's beautiful. But I like the Earthquaker Dispatch Master. I use that one too. Sometimes I use them together because, for instance, with a Knot and also with David Krakauer, I do a lot of more ethereal swells and stuff, so I can sort of set them at different places. I got this crazy little pedal that I love. It's the Valtron Chorale. It's tiny little pedal. And but the quality of each sound, it has auto-wahs, it has a couple choruses, it has envelope filters on it.
Oh, you're really going to the dark side.
But and this thing is it blows me away because the quality of the output is so good.
Right.
It's a tiny little pedal. Gilad Hexelman turned me onto it. So I have that, and also I have this the BB Exotic Overdrive.
Oh yeah, right.
So that's kind of, but sometimes I play with David Krakauer too. I haven't worked with him for a while, but sometimes he wants me to kind of land a spaceship on stage kind of vibe. So I have some other Earthquaker things that do that are crazy, like the Rainbow Machine. I've done it with a knot too, actually. Like, and it's kind of cool because I'm not sure where the spaceship's gonna land or how fast or how slow, and that's kind of fun.
Land a spaceship on stage. That may be that. I think the best thing I ever heard somebody say is, "I want to leave blood on the stage."
Ooh,
that was John McLaughlin.
Damn.
John said that when he's out there, he's playing with his heart, his soul, passion. He says, "You want to leave blood on the stage." But I think a strong number two on that is definitely land a spaceship on the stage. I don't know, that could be a number one. I don't know, man. That's strong.
Oh man, I'm in good company.
I thought Chops of Doom was cool, but I think
Chops of Doom is real cool.
I think landing a spaceship on a stage is I know, and I know exactly what you're talking about, which is really stupid and scary and all those things at the same time. I know exactly what you mean by that. That is crazy. Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. Well, before we go, wrap it up for us, kid. Tell us all about your record. The name of it is?
It's called Homage. The SBQ is the Sheryl Bailey Quartet. You can get it on my webpage. Vinyl, awesome vinyl. Digital download. So www.sherylbailey.com. And also find my YouTube page, which is Kung Fu Axe 1.
You're the gift that keeps on giving. I swear to God. Kung Fu Axe. All right.
Yeah, Kung Fu Axe 1, or just Sheryl Bailey. Anyway, you'll find the series, and there's a ton of other stuff. There's lessons on there, and there's cool stuff. And also on Spotify. So one of the tunes is going to be rolling out. It's called Walk Up. It's a samba. It'll be rolling out on Spotify and Apple Music and stuff on May 1st.
Well, here's the deal. You're a wonderful human being. You're a wonderful player, musician. You're obviously a great educator. I'm proud to know you. And I'm very proud that we have this relationship. You can call me up and say, "Hey," and I'll say, "Yeah, that's great." So thank you for that. I truly do love that. Cool. So, ladies and gentlemen, you know what your job is. Your job is to go out and check out Sheryl's brand new, hot off the presses. Man, I love that vinyl. But I know what vinyl is, and it's a real another level to get it out there on vinyl, and the mastering and all that's necessary, because it's literally like, hearing the sound under a microscope, and it's so organic and it's so rich.
Yeah.
You can't, it's the closest thing to actually having the instrument in the room with you.
Yeah, I love it. I really love it. Oh, and just one more well, maybe another time, speaking of Berklee, we have a new book that's the history of the guitar program. It's called Guitar Theory. So maybe you let me know. We'll do another.
No. We're going to schedule that right now. We're talking.
It just came out, and it's deep, because it's the whole history of William Levitt and Larry Bayonne.
You got your calendar? You got your
calendar?
Go to May the 15th.
May the 15th.
All right, how's that? You got any time on May the 15th?
I think I should be cool. We'll chat. We'll figure it out.
Well, I want to put that down as a well, I mean, I've got any time that week actually, but I'm going to give you a couple of weeks to sort all this stuff out.
Okay.
But I'm going to put this down. And the name of that book is what?
It's called Guitar Theory.
Yeah, I definitely want to do that too.
But I should get you a copy of it. I should send you a copy of it to check it out.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. I'll text you my physical address.
Yeah, it's the history of what we call the proficiency, which is the final exam, which is what the whole curriculum is based on. And then there are etudes that people wrote. So like there's like heavy metal etudes, and they're funk etudes, and they're jet. I mean, it's
get me a copy of that. I'm gonna text you in a minute. Give me a copy of that. Let me digest a little bit of it, and
yeah.
And then we'd love to do that.
Okay.
We'd love to do that.
cool. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. We should have Kim and maybe Larry Bayonne wants to come on.
Yeah.
It could be really cool. I know it was because it was great to, talk to Larry. I mean, Larry was there from the beginning of the stuff.
Yeah, we'd love to do that. That would be great. We can do it as a, put them all in one room, or we can do a 4-way thing. We can bring the feed in.
Yeah, yeah.
Conversation about it. I not only would I love to do that, I'm going to hold you to it.
Okay. No, it's cool. No, it's cool. I'm really excited about it. I mean, for me, it's like very humbling that I could be a part of the projects.
I've got this in my calendar. If nothing else, we'll touch base on that day.
Okay.
We don't get together on the day. We'll touch base on the day.
Cool.
Sure, the great Sheryl Bailey, and I'm not blowing smoke up your blue jeans there.
Cool.
You are great. Love you. Thanks.
All right.
Good luck on this new record. Bob Bakert for Jazz Guitar Today and Sheryl Bailey. Thanks. Have a great day.
Yeah, thank
Sheryl.
you.
Bye-bye.
Peace out.
Bye.